Well, it's been 1 year since I went full time selling low end cards. Let's see what I've learned. Yo, 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 YouTube. Welcome back to the Dollar Box. My name is Adam, and today I'm going to talk about what I learned over 1 year of being full time in business selling low end sports cards. So let's rewind it back a little bit and let me tell you about how I got started. So, about a year ago, right before the National, I went full time. I was reselling cards as a hobby for about 3 years before going full time. I got back into the hobby in 2017 as a Brett Favre super collector and started picking up a lot of cards that were missing in my collection and selling off cards that I could either A, make a good profit on, or B, didn't need to have in my collection any longer. Well, I started doing that and making some money, and I thought, hey, this is something that I could build on over time, create some assets, meaning get more cards, and also making some profit. So that's what I did. I got in before there was the eBay standard envelope shipping program and before they gave you 60,000 listings in a premium store. It was only a 10,000 listing limit when I started, and we had to send everything with a stamp on it and hope and pray that the card got there and that the buyer wasn't going to try to scam us and say they never got it. So a lot has changed since that time. So let's start there. Let's start at the shipping practices. So again, how I originally started was I was just putting a card in an envelope and mailing it out with a stamp on it. It was cost effective. Supplies were cheap enough. It was easy to send out. The cards were low end, so it was pretty rare you would get a claim that the card was never received, that kind of thing. But there are two problems with this. One, the obvious one is you don't have any proof that the card got delivered. So if the customer says they didn't get it, you had to refund them. The other problem is there's no way you could be a top seller or top rated seller plus, be part of the top rated seller plus program because you couldn't track your packages, which that program requires that. So roll forward a bit. eBay standard envelope comes out. Same cost as a commercial stamp, yet you get the tracking through a special eBay tracking service with the Postal Service. I did a video on this a while ago when it first came out, and it was interesting. I watched it recently, and it's been interesting to see some of my ideas for future shipping. I believe that Amazon will start delivering mail at some point as the post office gets out of that um, money lost line of business. Amazon's already delivering all the packages for the most part. They have their own vehicle fleets now. They're gonna start delivering mail. So I may not be far off on that. What seemed like a stretch of a claim a couple of years ago. All right, so eBay standard envelope comes along. That changes everything. Start listing that way. When I was started shipping, I didn't have a thermal label printer. I didn't even have a computer. I would just handwrite the name on the envelope, put the stamp on it, pick up a roll of stamps ahead of time, put a stamp on it, and drop it off. So, very, very old school method. I started on eBay back in like 1995, 96, or back when you used to get money orders in the mail or even cash in the mail at times to send out your sale to a customer. So, that would be the other thing that in the last year I definitely upgraded to pretty quickly, and that was getting a thermal label printer. Shout out to John, one of the viewers on this channel, who sent me one with some labels saying that that was what I needed to elevate my game, and he was not wrong. So I added that, got myself a small PC to be able to connect the printer to, and been printing labels ever since. Listings, I was at 28,760 listings this time last year. Today, well, actually, as of yesterday, I did list some cards this morning, so the number's a little bit bigger now. But as of yesterday, my listing count was 46,104. So I'm up about, what is that, like 80% or so in listings. So lots of listings been happening. And a big part of that comes from having the scanner. So that's the other big thing that's changed since I started doing this, and that's adding a scanner and Card Dealer Pro. So Any cards that can be scanned, so non-chrome, non-shiny, non-refractor type cards, die cuts, things like that. So there's plenty that I still have to list without scanning, but everything else goes in the scanner. Quick little batches. Card Dealer Pro does a great job now. They've come a long way and get those listings up so you can list, 500 cards in an hour or something like that. It really speeds the process along. My goal is to hit 60,000 listings, of course, which is the maximum in a premium store, and then start expanding into other platforms. So that's something that I've changed to. I've started listing on Buy Sports Cards. Sport Lots I know is a pretty good one. There's a few of others out there, Collex, which Car Dealer Pro lists directly to. So I want to start building on some other platforms as I max out my listings on eBay to get A, more exposure, and B, save on upgrading the store to a higher price. All right, now there's some things that I have definitely added in the past year to help with growth and sales, and that mostly comes from the marketing side. So, started doing dynamic promotions probably right before I went full time last year. That was kind of what started giving me the boost to go, hey, I could do this. So, that's been a good adjustment, as well as adding coupons. So, sending coupons out to current customers, having a generic coupon out there that anyone can use where they can buy more volume, and get a better price, and then of course, I get a bigger sale and can ship them all together. I've also started done a better job keeping track of followers and the my regular buyers and sending them specific coupons, and also employed a newsletter that goes out once per week. One of the biggest changes I've made in the past year is where I get my cards from. I was doing just a lot of eBay buying lots, splitting them up, selling the singles, for a couple of reasons. One, there wasn't that many card shows when I got back into this. And two, it was just easy and convenient. They came to my house. I could work on them when I wanted. I wasn't full time, so I didn't have all day to dedicate to doing cards and that kind of thing. But since then, I've been doing a lot more card show buying. I've gotten better prices. You cut out the shipping. Um, you can make those relationship builds with the dealers. You can get bulk pricing. You can negotiate your price a little bit easier. And I get to cherry pick the cards. I think that's the number one thing. When you buy lots in eBay, you get whatever's in the lot. And sometimes that's a good thing. A lot of times it's not. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't buy on eBay at all. There are lots of cards that are way more available on there that I don't really find at card shows. Non-sport cards being a big one. Just oddball type cards, Sports Illustrated for kids stuff, that kind of thing that I like to buy and resell. Tends to be much better to purchase on eBay. I've also upgraded my office within the last couple of weeks. My wife's been amazing, and my father in law helping me construct this place. It's a much better layout. My last office wasn't really laid out to sell cards. It wasn't what I was doing at the time that it was designed. It was a pre-done room. It was just a spare bedroom, and this room I was able to more lay out exactly what I wanted, build a specific desk, and have the spaces that I needed to be able to operate correctly. And then also this cool backdrop. I had some fun things I've always wanted to display. Never really had a great place to do it, so that's been a really nice thing for me to be able to add and have visually in the videos as well. Probably the area I have expanded on the most in my reselling is non-sport cards. I really like them. They're fun to get. There's a lot of variety, and a lot of dealers, especially sports card dealers, will just kind of dump them when they buy collections, so you can get good prices on them. And they do have a good resale market. There aren't as many sellers. It's not as competitive, so it's really fun to sell Batman cards and Spider-Man cards, and at least for me. So that's probably the biggest area I've expanded in. The other would be just expanding what players I regularly carry. So that's kind of how I started out. I was doing just Favre stuff, and then I kind of added in Brady, and I added Mostly football players at first, and then I had started doing Otani and Ken Griffey Jr. and things like that. So I've been working hard this past year to really expand on that and add a lot more players, which has helped make more multiple card sales, which is where, of course, the profits are. And then just very recently, I started buying very large bulk buys, meaning like 35,000 cards at a time, getting them super, super, super cheap. It is some players, there's definitely some players that I'm listing that I haven't really listed much of in the past. But I'm seeing good sales out of those, especially like team buyers. I'm getting more team buyers now because I have more players from teams than just like their star player. I'm getting more set collectors that come in. So, for example, I had a sale today of a bunch of 2002 Topps football random players that I don't normally sell a lot of, and so it's great. It's been able to expand my customer base based on the cards that I've been listing. And when you get the cards at a penny to 2 cents a piece, it's really it's really pretty much straight profit. Anything you sell above and beyond any eBay expenses is all profit. So that's really nice. Gives you a lot of leeway for your pricing, accepting offers, things like that. All right, so the national is a few days away. So what is going to happen in the next year after this national as I work into year two? So I kind of touched on this earlier, but one of my main things is to expand to some other platforms, list some more on Buy Sports Cards. I have gotten a few sales on there. I really like it when they run the promotions where they pay you to list. So I'm going to keep my eye out for those. And I have a few boxes of cards that I've set aside specifically to list on there, and just keep expanding in some other spaces, get some more eyes. I think that eBay is going to remain number one for a very, very, very long time, if not forever. But I do believe there's opportunities in other places that where there's customers that don't really use eBay. The other thing is you can sell the cards a little bit cheaper because you don't have the fees. So it'll allow me to sell a lot of cards that I couldn't really sell on eBay because I can't get a buyer at a certain price that I would need in order to maintain a profit. The other thing is to grow into some more mid-end cards. Now, for me, my mid-end is 5 to 15, maybe $20. So still in that eBay standard envelope price point to ship, but stuff that's a little bigger than the $1.99 type cards that I have a lot of listings of already. So how I'm going to do that is I have my bulk boxes of cards I've gotten extremely cheap that I can keep listing. And then as I'm shopping more at shows, I'm going to look through more dollar boxes, $2 boxes, $5 boxes, $10 boxes, and I'm going to try to find value in those. Probably spending the same amount at shows on inventory, but picking up less cards. We're also running our own card show, me and JC3 Collectibles, with our sponsor, Cardboard Legacy. We're putting on our first show in Green Bay on September 8th, 2024 at the Riverside Ballroom in Green Bay. We're hoping many of you can join us. We still have a few dealer tables left. It's free admission. There's food there. There's lots of parking, great location. So we're hoping to build on that as well. We just want to get the first show under our belt, have it be very successful, make sure everything runs smoothly. We got it all nailed down. And then we plan to expand on that, add some more fun things to do at the show, make it a more family friendly type of experience other than just a standard card show. So I really look forward to working on that over the next year. Charlie and I will be at the National this year in Cleveland. If you see us, please come up, say hi. We'd love to meet everybody. We'll have Stu the goat, of course, in hand. So if you want a picture with the goat, we'll have that ready for you. That's it for this video. Please let me know in the comments down below, what do you think was a good change in this past year? What are some things that you've been doing to adjust to changes in the past year? What would you like to see going forward? What do you think? What are your suggestions for what I should do to adjust and grow my business in this next year? I'm really excited for this next year because I'll definitely be able to max out my listings on eBay at my current store level. And that's cool because that, to me, that means that now I've reached another plateau and I can look at another sort of expansion and growth period versus this past year was just a lot of get listings on there, get sales, make income, um, survive essentially. And now I can really focus on trying to get it to the next level, work on the shows, work on more content creation. I know I haven't been making as many videos. I want to do that, step back into that a lot more and add some creativity there and just work on some things outside of I got a list to get sales. Now that that's sort of in the right spot and just about topped off on the eBay side, I can start looking at where to go from there. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, ring the bell to be notified of any future videos. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Please share it to someone else if you think they would enjoy it as well. Join our Discord. The Dollar Box is the name of the server. We have a great regular discussions on there on all things card selling related. But until next time, remember you can't sell what you don't list. We'll see you soon.